Standing on the platform, watching you go. It's like no other pain that I've ever known. To love someone so much, to have no control. You said you had to leave this world, and I said go. But I think I'm lost without you. I just feel crushed without you. Hits me at full speed, feels like I can't breathe. Nobody knows this pain inside me. My world is crumbling. I think I'm lost without you. Hey, my beautiful souls, welcome back to Fanny Justy, the life coach. So if you are observant, you will notice that I am filming at a different space, a different spot, a different place within my home, and I am actually at the top of my stairs, right? The banister is right behind me, and there's a reason for that, and I'm gonna get to that in a second. But I'm gonna speak a little bit about how I led up to this video. So during the course of the week, I actually filmed some videos about anxiety, depression, and depressions of the Christmas season, right? And how it's not such a happy moment for many people, because many people have dealt with losses of loved ones, either this year, last year, or the year prior, and it's still pretty fresh, right? The first couple of years is really fresh. And if you have lost someone and it's not super fresh, then the memory of that person and the holidays, you know, it brings up all of that murky emotions, nostalgic feelings, and all that stuff, depression, sadness, and anxiety, and it goes on and on and on. And in the midstream of doing that video, I also filmed a video on fear. And when I was reflecting on that video, this moment came up, the moment I'm going to speak of now. So about a year and a half ago, I spoke about losing my mom, right? And I was reflecting on, you know, how people feel around the Christmas time and things of that sort. Oh, I'm going to change my position. Right? And that makes me think of how people are feeling this year. I know personally, for me, I know a lot of people who lost someone this holiday season. It's the first holiday they're going to be spending without them. And one of the things that come up when you lose someone is this intense fear. It's like this intense fear of they're gone. Like it just hits you, and for different people it hits them at different times, but it's just like it comes up as fear. I know for me it did, and it's like a fear of you're never gonna find that someone again, right? That relationship you have with that person, you're never going to find it again. And the way, like I said, it comes up is through like fear. Like you feel this intense of, I will never feel that type of connection again. I will never have that type of love again. I will never have that type of intimacy again, right? Like if it's a parent, for me it was a mother. It's like I would never have anyone on my side the way I had with my mother. Like you only get one mother, and your mother is pretty much your mother, right? And if you had a okay or a good relationship with your mother, you know no one's on your side like your mother. No one roots for you like your mother. If you literally are bankrupt and you needed money, the first person that always has your back is going to be your mother. Nobody understands you like your mother. You can't speak to anyone like your mother. It's a profound, different type of relationship, very different relationship even from like mother and father. And you get one mother, right? And the same thing is true for like a spouse. Like if you've been married for a long time and you lost your spouse, it's the same thing, right? The love is so deep, the connection is so profound, and the support that they bring you and give you it's like no other. And you can apply that to any relationship. It could be a sibling, it could be a friend, it could be a cousin, anyone you lost, a grandmother. It's like that connection is sacred. And when you lose them, this intense fear comes up of no one's ever gonna support me and be there for me like this person was. And I have something to say about that. So this brings me back to my moment of sitting on this floor in my own house a year and a half ago, because that's the time that my mom passed away. And I was working on a video for her, her viewing. I was putting together a video for her. And for people who know me personally on Facebook and certain networks, I actually showcased that video, so they might know exactly what I am referring to. But that video, I was working on it and I couldn't sleep, and it was a couple of days before I was going to view her. We were going to lay her to view, and I was super nervous about seeing her for the first time in a casket. I never been good with that, and I never had anyone super close to me pass, so it was a new feeling for me, and I had all this anxiety because I knew that was going to be the pivotal moment where it becomes real. And like, it's just a different feeling from when you see them in the hospital and you see them, you know, it's just a different feeling. And if you ever had someone who passed away, you know exactly what I am referring to. So hopefully the noise of the heat is not too much. The heat just turned on. It's pretty cold here in New York. So hopefully it's not too loud. But yeah, that feeling that you get when you see someone in a casket is like no other. And so I had a dread of doing that, right? So I couldn't sleep, I couldn't, you know, I was grieving. And so I got up in the middle of the night, I was working on this video, and my brother wanted to add a song, and the song was like Dear Mama. He was like, I want to add this song into it. And so I was looking for specific pictures to add to the songs that we chose for the video. And at that time I couldn't sleep, and so I got up. It was in the middle of the night, I don't even know what time, maybe about 3 or 4 in the morning. And I got up and I came to sit right here. And the reason why is because behind me there is a closet. And that is a closet that holds my photos and stuff like that. So I went in there to get my photo album. Since I couldn't sleep, I was like, I might as well just, you know, keep working on the video. And I opened the photo album, and of course I was going through like all the memories, and it just flooded me with all these emotions. And for the first time I was just like, I broke down, like I just let it out. I had a good cry, but the type of cry that you're like you know, you can't catch your breath. You know, when kids cry over something and they become really emotional, it's like you know, you barely can catch your breath. And so I had one of those sitting right here, and I had like one light on, so it was pretty dim. And I was like, you know, an emotional wreck, right? Looking through the albums, like all these memories came back. I was so flooded with emotion. And one of the most profound things happened in that moment. So while I was crying, I started getting this intense ringing in my left ear. I'll never forget it. It was so loud, and I had music playing. I was playing music on my phone. I was playing the song Dear Mama that my brother wanted to incorporate into the video, because I was like listening to the music and seeing like what the feelings came up and what pictures went with the song. And so the music was pretty loud, and I had this ringing like da. It's the type of ringing you hear when you get too close to a speaker, like at a club or at a party, and it's like almost you become tone deaf, and then you leave that party and then you hear that ringing. So it was like that was the sound that I heard, and it was super loud. I mean, like overwhelming. And I knew this sound because I have heard it before. And so it goes into a background of spiritual awakening. And before I lost my mom, I went through the process of a spiritual awakening. So I knew the sound. And when I heard the ringing, when I would hear the ringing, that usually meant that there was a spirit or entity surrounding me. And so I'm hearing the ringing, and it gets so loud sometimes that it messes with your equilibrium, like it takes you off balance. Or for me, that's the way it was. And so at that moment, I was like literally getting dizzy because it was ringing so loud, and it was just throwing me off balance, like the sound. And all of a sudden, I get this complete sweep of goosebumps all over my body. I'm talking about all over my body from head to toe. I could feel it like on my head. It's just like goosebumps all over my head, all over my hands, all over my fingers and my feet. And this intense feeling of feeling cold. It was just goosebumps, like the way you get when you feel cold. And I knew that feeling very well because I had a spiritual experience before then that I'll talk about in another video. And I knew that she was present. She was present. And I couldn't see her. I couldn't see anything. I didn't see anything. I could just feel it. And you know, I lift up my head because I was crying. I was crying intensely, and I lift up my head. And I'm looking around to see if anything was strange or if I could see anything. You know, where are you? Where is she? Because I already knew. I could feel the presence. I could feel the spirit. I could feel the entity. And I spoke out loud and I said, "Mom, are you here? Is that you?" And then the ringing got louder. And I'm like, oh my God, there's so much things I need to tell you, right? That's exactly what I said, literally that way. I was like, where are you? Where do you go? Like, what happens when you pass? Where do you go? Are you okay? And I made all these apologies to her because I felt all this guilt because if you watch my video of losing my mom, I talked about how she wanted me to go pick her up. And I kept telling her, okay, I'll go. And my intention was to go, but I didn't go when she originally requested. And then when she passed, I felt a sense of guilt. I felt a sense of responsibility. Like if she was here, that wouldn't have happened. If I would have picked her up, that wouldn't have happened. And so I said that out loud to her. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I gave her my apologies for not showing up for her and telling her how deeply sorry I was. But I said all I wanted to know was if she was okay. Are you okay? Where did you go? Are you alone? Is heaven real? I asked. These are the questions I asked. Is heaven real? What is it like? Are you alone? Are there people? Is it like when you pass in the movies and people's after death experiences? Is it true you see a light? Is it true you're in peace? Are you okay? I asked these questions, right? And that's all I wanted to know. That's all I wanted for her at this point. I want to know that you're not alone. Because when my mom was on the physical plane, I know she felt very alone. She went through a lot of illness and things like that. And I just wanted to know that she was okay. She was happy. She was at peace. And I wanted to know that she really went somewhere. Do the spirits really go somewhere like we believe? You know, is it a load of crap? And how is she here? Like, how does it work? Tell me, tell me. And those are some of the questions I asked, right? And then the ringing stopped. The goosebumps faded. And I felt she was gone. And I talked more to her and nothing. No ringing in the ear, no goosebumps came. And then I was like, okay, I guess she's gone. And I was like, what's the point? What the hell was that? What the hell was that? What is the point of all this? What is the point? What is the point? Like, why are these things happening to me? Like, why do I hear the ringing? Why do I feel the spirit? Like, what? What is the point of this? Why me? And then I went to sleep. And then I went to her wake, her funeral. I broke down like I thought I would. And then time passed. And I would say about maybe 3 to 4 days after that incident, I woke up full of energy. So before then, I was really sad. I was going through like grieving. I was depressed. And I was crying a lot, and it was just sad. I was just empty. You feel empty inside, right? And then I just woke up one day so happy, and I had no clue why. And I had all this burst of energy, and I had a mess in my house. I had a mess. I remember going through like clothes for the funeral, and I didn't have any. I did have stuff to wear, but like I wasn't prepared. Like, this is gonna be for my mom's funeral, so of course nothing's ever good enough, right? I'm throwing around clothes, and I just threw it there, and it just sit there because that's what happens when you're grieving and you're depressed and you're sad. And then that day I woke up with this energy to do all these things that I didn't have the energy or the willingness or wanted to do, because I was so like deep down there in my sadness. And I was getting things done in the middle of, I was cleaning my room and I was happy, and I don't know why. I started playing music, and then all of a sudden music starts playing in my head. So this is something else that happens to me quite often. And I already knew what that meant. There was a message, but I didn't know the song. I didn't know the song. The song was, the verse that was playing in my head was dancing in the moonlight. And I was like, whatever. The first time it just pops into my head. That's the way messages usually come. They just pop. And I'm like, whatever. And I just ignored it and kept doing what I was cleaning, and then dancing in the moonlight, dancing in the moonlight, dancing in the moonlight. And it was like on replay. And I was like, what in the hell is that? Dancing in the moonlight, we get it on every night. And so I was like, what the hell is this? Some like sexual message that's coming through to me. Why and from who? So I decide to Google the term dancing in the moonlight, we get it on every night. And then boom, pops up a song and a video. Dancing in the moonlight. Dancing in the moonlight, everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fun and natural sign. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. And I'm like, huh? That was the song. Obviously, I can't play it here because I'll get X'd, so that's why I sing it. And so it appears, and then I Google the lyrics, and it's talking about a supernatural delight. It's such a fun and natural sign. It's talking about a supernatural delight. It's talking about they cannot be seen, but they're there and they're dancing in the moonlight. And it's talking about the happiness and the peacefulness that one feels. And I was like, oh, that's my answer to the question I asked my mom a few days ago. This is the answer. This is what heaven feels like. This is where she's at. This is how it feels. She's dancing in the moonlight. She's not alone. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a supernatural delight. Those are some of the lyrics. And I was like, wow. And that was one way that I received a message about the people who go to heaven. And then afterwards, I went through this long journey, right? This journey that felt like it was never going to end. Of coming into my own and arriving here with you, right, on YouTube, coaching individuals. It was a long, tiring, hopeless, it felt hopeless journey that brought me here. And during that time, I had a dream. And the dream, when I was coming to the end of the journey, the dream was with my mom. And I had this dream that I was going on this crazy journey and everything seemed impossible. That was the whole synopsis of the dream. And doing halfway, I'm going through like this obstacle course, and I open a door and it's my mom. My mom is in like a closet. That's what it looked like, the dream, a closet. And it was my mom, but she was younger. She was her younger self. She always appears her younger self in the dreams because when she passed, she was older and she also was sick. So in the dream, she always appears healthy the way I remember her as like a kid. And she's in the closet and she's telling me all this stuff, and I don't remember what she was telling me, but I'm nodding and I'm listening. And then she says, okay, you have to go. And I'm like, I don't want to go. And she's like, no, you have to go. You have to go. You have to continue. And I'm like, but I'm so tired. And that's how I felt through this whole journey of mine. I'm just so tired. And I don't want to go. I don't want to do anymore. And then she said, no, you have to go. You have to go. You have to leave me behind. And then I go, and then I continue on the journey. In the dream, I'm in a car, and then I have to face some like waterfall. Like the car, you know, dreams are just crazy, right? So the car is like going up a hill through a waterfall, and then I'm looking up, and the water's coming right at me, and I'm with someone else in the car, my best friend. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what are we going to do? And my friend's like, turn around the car, turn around the car, turn around the car. And I'm like, no, we can't go backwards. We cannot go backwards. We can only go forward. And she's like, are you crazy? If we go forward, we're going to drown. And I'm like, no, we can do it. We can do it. And then I go full force on the gas, and I go right through the waterfall, and the water doesn't submerge me. And then after that task was the end of the journey. I was like in a dark tunnel, and I come out, and I finally see the light. I finally see the light. And I come out, and then I see all these other people, I don't know who they are in the dream, right? And we're celebrating. And then I wake up. Now, why am I mentioning this dream? I'm mentioning these two separate situations to tell you what they mean for people who have lost someone. And they feel lost, and they feel helpless, and they feel so fearful because they lost that support, and they lost that love, and they just feel just lost in general, and they feel heartbroken or guilty, or they feel like this person is completely gone and they will never feel them again. And I'm here to tell you that is not true. That is not true. I wondered and contemplated so long of why me? Why did I get these messages? Why can't I see my mom in my dreams? Why she's always bringing me these crazy messages? And it's for this moment. It's for this moment. It's for those people who feel hopeless and helpless, and they feel like they will never have that support again. But that's not true, because the message of that dream, the message of my dream was the people you love are always with you. Whether you know it or not, whether you can see them or not, it's not the same. It will never be the same the way we want it, right? But they are there. They are there rooting for you. They are there pushing you. They are there saying, you have to get up and go and move forward, because I'm always here. They're always in a closet. They're always behind a door. They're always watching you. They have never left you, right? The difference is that you haven't awakened yet. So you can't see it, you can't know it. But then that's where people like me come in to tell you, because I can feel it. I can see it, to tell you they are not gone. They are not gone. It's just a different realm, right? It's just like a curtain. I call it a curtain, right? That's between you and them. And some people are able to lift it, right? And some people are not. But for the people who are not, there's people like me to tell you that I can go to the other side of the curtain, and I have seen it, and they are with you. And they are always with you. They are always there supporting you, rooting you on, and they always are by your side in the journey. So you are not alone. And you will always have that love, and you will always have that support. And for people that when you lost them and you felt like they didn't get to live their life, or they were so unhappy, or they had to deal with illness, or they had to deal with just something that was unbalanced or unfair on this physical world, and you feel hurt for them, you feel pain. I'm here to tell you that they are dancing in the moonlight. They are living their best life. I say this all the time because it is true, because I've been told. Someone came from under the curtain and said, this is what it looks like, and this is what it sounds like, and this is what it feels like. And so don't ever get stuck in those emotions of it is unfair that you're living and they had to go. Right? A lot of people stop their lives. They stop living. They get stuck in that grief and that depression and feeling it's almost like a feeling like, I don't want to live my life without you, because if I live my life without you, I'm betraying you, right? I know I felt a little bit of that in the beginning, right? You know, anything I got from my mom's death, I just didn't want it, because it just felt like guilty. Like, why should I be celebrating here or have this stuff when it's hers? She didn't have it. She didn't get this stuff, right? And one of those things was a new kitchen, right? I spoke about having a sewer flood and my whole kitchen going down and my whole home going down, and I had to rebuild it. And one of the ways I was able to do that was by something my mother left me. But she also wanted to rebuild her kitchen and she didn't get that opportunity. But it was given to me, and I was like, that's not fair, so I don't want it. And so we restrict ourselves back from gifts and blessings that we're getting because we feel guilty. We feel like it's not fair. We feel they should have had it, or we feel like we shouldn't live our lives and go on because that's not what they will want for us. But I'm here to tell you that that's not true. It's the complete opposite. They want you to go forward. They want you to move on. They want you to tackle your fears and go through those waterfalls and come out the other side, get out of the darkness and move to the light. They want that for you because they love you and they're rooting for you. They're rooting for you to conquer the waterfalls. They're rooting for you to not be submerged by the water. They're rooting for you to push forward on that gas and don't do that U-turn, right? Do not turn around that car. No, the only way to move is forward, right? Don't let the fear, don't let it take you down. And don't let the fear of them not being next to you or not being included hold you back, because they're always there. Like I said, they're always in a closet. They're always behind the door. They're always behind a curtain, and they're watching and they're rooting and they're sending you support in different ways. The spirit world is very different than our world here. And a lot of people think we think with our scientific mind, and you cannot make sense of the spiritual world, right? I always say, science only goes so far, and then there's God. There's the spiritual sense of it. There's miracles and things that we just cannot explain. We don't know how to, right? And it's because it's spiritual. It's spiritual. There's no scientific explanation for it. So don't let the mind here and the physical hold you back and think that there's not another side, and think that they are truly gone, because they're right there. I promise you that they are right there. Since my mom's death, she has not left my side. I thought in the beginning that I only dreamt of her because of the trauma, because I couldn't let go. But that's not true. She always arrives. Like I could just think of her or call her in, and she just comes. She comes, and she always comes with a message in a dream for me, right? So it's real. I promise you it's real. I promise you they can hear you. So when you feel sad, you feel lost, you feel down, you feel like you need that support, just talk to them. Talk to them out loud. Call them in and express whatever you want to express to them. And I promise you that they are listening. They are listening. So take them with you. Take them with you this holiday. Hold them in your heart and just know that they're right there celebrating with you.
So just remember, my beautiful souls, grieving takes time. Make sure you don't rush the process. But while you're deep down there in the deepest parts of your oceans, just know that your loved ones are right there beside you. And they will guide the light, take your hand, and help you move and push through to get to the surface, to finally take that breath and breathe again. And when you feel sad and you wish that they were near, put on the radio, play Top Loader, Dancing in the Moonlight, and let it remind you of how at peace and happy they are, and that all you have to do is just look up at the sky, look up at the moon, and they're right there. Every night they're there.
And I send you all kisses and hugs, and if anybody ever needs, to reach out, you can do it in the comments, or you can send me a private message and we will chat. And I will see you all in my next one.